Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's me, your boy Cryptid. We have a video reacting to the one, the only, Lol Shinya. So he has a very impactful title for his video, if you guys can't see. It's Why Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves Will Destroy Each Other. That's a very good title. That's a very explosive title, and I want to know what he has to say about it. So let's get straight into it and see what my boy Shinya has to say about this.
Greetings, Rovers. As I'm sure most of you are aware, the past few weeks have been filled with non-stop drama, discussions, react exceptions, and PvP between the gacha communities and within the specific games themselves.
Alright, there has been nothing but people going after each other's throats. And I don't understand why we can't just, chill, get along, like the games we like, but everybody is just so damn volatile. Every little thing pisses everyone off, and I'm for it. I love watching it and everything, love commenting on it. But I just don't understand the beef. I don't know if it's real or fake half the time, honestly.
Today I'd like to take a deeper dive into the psychology and reasoning behind why the gacha space tends to attract such heavy opinions and the resulting drama.
I would love to know.
For our examples today, we are going to specifically be discussing the vitriol between the Wuthering Waves, also known as the Kurobots, and the Genshin Impact, also known as the Hoyoshills, community.
And going with the Kurobot Toyoshills thing, there's been a lot of things going on the Kurobot side. We got Santotis, and on the Hoyo side we have people like Gacha Smack and such. That have been arguing back and forth because Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves are very similar games. There's no denying it. They both have an open world gameplay, and they have similar kind of gameplay styles. Granted, Wuthering Waves has a more in-depth gameplay with the dodging, parrying, and so on and so forth. But besides that, it's a very similar game, and it is constantly getting compared on every level. Um, but especially recently, there's been a lot going on about how one is better than the other.
So let's start with the most obvious reasoning. Tribalism is an innate human condition that can be traced back to the very first humans. People who take this form of tribalism too far merely lack a sense of identity and purpose in their real life, so they cling to these predatory games and make it their entire personality. I mean, have you even seen some of these fan Twitter accounts of Genshin characters?
And people making games their whole personality, they have been doing that for a long time. That's not a gacha game exclusive, but I will say it is definitely more prominent with gacha games. And it's also not just a Genshin Impact exclusive thing. It's any game whatsoever. They get dedicated. They love the characters, and then there's the extra level of gacha games where you spend the money, so you don't want to leave the game, so you get an extra attachment beyond the characters. But it's definitely not a gacha game exclusive thing, as well as it's not a Genshin Impact exclusive thing. It's just how it is.
It's so incredibly cringe.
These
specific games give them a sense of belonging in the world, and are able to create bonds with like-minded weirdos thanks to the anonymity of the internet. This usually results in these individuals.
Oh, and people being able to say whatever the hell they want to say and not have any repercussion is definitely the downfall of every little thing, every little fandom, because people just go hog wild on anything and everything they want to talk about, and because they can hide their face, hide what their name is, everything to that effect, they just say the most stupid stuff that you can think of on the internet without any repercussion. And honestly, some of these people that say outlandish shit just needs to get slapped in the face through the screen.
Intentionally or unintentionally, creating echo chambers around them. And anything outside of what they enjoy is just outright bad to them. Obviously, this is an extreme take to those sound of mind, but to the terminally online children, this is the unfortunate norm. So let's discuss another uncomfortable topic.
All right.
The average
What you
age
got?
of gacha players is extremely low. One prominent 2023 study found that 33% of players were between the ages of 18 and 21,
Okay.
10% were under 18, and 74% are in their 20s. The study also identified the average gacha game player as lonely or with very few friends and is emotionally vulnerable. Secret that Genshin Impact
Ooh, that is rough, I gotta say. Lonely and vulnerable with no friends. That that is rough. Emotionally vulnerable. Now, I can't say that they're wrong on I would say a majority of the player base, but I'm not going to say it's right to say it out loud. Some things you just know without saying it. You just kind of keep it to yourself. If you can't say anything nice, don't say it at anything at all, right? That's what we were taught as kids. But they're not only just saying it, but they're just writing it down, posting it on the internet. That's crazy. That's crazy.
and is emotionally vulnerable. It's no secret that Genshin Impact was arguably the first normie gacha that basically put the genre into the mainstream light, which deduces us to believe a significant majority of the player base of Genshin are on the younger end. This
Absolutely.
is mostly conjecture.
With Genshin Impact, yeah, yes, it is conjecture, like he was about to say, but with Genshin Impact, they definitely have a more fantasy, kid-like aesthetic. It's definitely more colorful, more not as edgy uh, compared to other games. It is definitely a more kid-friendly experience. If you were to compare it to other gacha games, that's for sure.
As ultimately we will never get the true data due to many different factors, but if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Quack quack.
Alright, so how did Genshin attract such a young fan base? There's a few reasonings behind this, personally, I believe. The
Lay it on me,
barrier of
Shinny.
entry is one of them. When we think of a game that has the most childish audience, I'm sure most of us would think Fortnite, right?
Oh,
Games being
100%.
free to play naturally
The player base of Fortnite being so young is what led me to not want to play Fortnite. Like I'm already not a huge fan of battle royale games. I love shooters, but the fact that there's just a bunch of raging 10-year-olds on Fortnite is just so unappealing that it just made me not like want to steer clear away from it entirely.
draws a younger audience to these games. A 2011 article, which used consumer spending data across 1.4 billion sessions, suggested that younger players are the primary users of freemium games, and the ages of 25 to 34 group funds these games. Combining that thought into
Mm,
the happy-go-lucky atmosphere of Genshin,
yeah.
obviously can't speak to the game after the first initial few hours, just because I couldn't bear to get through it, but it's very obviously attempting to attract a younger.
Yeah, same with me. I tried to play Genshin Impact. I played it for one stream, and it just wasn't my cup of tea. It didn't feel impactful. It didn't feel fun. I mean, that's just for me though. Like, if you like Genshin, you like Genshin. It is what it is. But I personally didn't vibe with it.
Audience. With Paimon basically acting as a Boots the Monkey from Dora the Explorer, who is used as a literary device to dumb things down and explain what's happening on the screen. This
Yeah,
literary device is mainly used for those who have small attention spans. Getting back to the main point of the discussion, these
that
gacha
subtle
games
shot at
prey on the
Genshin players.
young, impressionable, or lonely players. There's a reason why most of these games have a bland, silent protagonist. It's so the player can self-insert themselves into the world where they are interacting and befriending these gorgeous and handsome characters. Personally, I believe Genshin is the main and prime example of this. The game came out shortly after the COVID pandemic started. People
Which that COVID buff is what led it to be such a ginormous success. Because I mean, it still would have been big 100%, but I don't think it would have blown up as much as it did without the COVID buff, because it's just it really had people stay inside. It was a brand new thing. It got a lot of people into gachas for the very first time, of all ages, and it was just something to do. It's something you could sink hours and hours into and just kind of relax and play. And it was the perfect time to release any game whatsoever, not just Genshin, but if you would release any game at that point, not many people had things to do because they were either getting laid off or their job was on hiatus because of the pandemic and everything like that. But it was just a great time to be a video game developer at that point, because you were just making some good strides with your popularity.
People were bored, lonely, seeking any connection they possibly could when
Exactly.
they had virtually zero. The stars aligned perfectly and was the solitude a lot of people needed at the time. Once someone has invested time, energy, or money into something, they will defend it as much as they possibly can. If
Oh,
another game
absolutely.
came out that overshadowed the game,
You don't want to invest money into a game and then have someone tell you, wow, that's such a crap game. I can't believe you're dumb enough to do that. No, you're going to defend it. You're like, hey, I spent $20 in this game. I don't think it's that bad. I thought it was worth the $20. Or if you're one of the whales that spend hundreds of, maybe thousands of dollars, you're going to be like, well, how dare you? I think you're stupid. I think anything you play is stupid because I thought this game was good enough to spend my hard earned money on it. Don't you dare talk about my wife who's that way. I will crucify you.
they invested their time or money into, they will naturally be spiteful of the competition it has towards their game.
Of course.
They want to be validated that their choice is better, so they go out of their way to disparage anything that isn't their own. Gacha games are extremely fickle as well, as the end of service is a huge threat to most games, and a few bad months in a row could be the end for the vast majority of them. If that were to happen, everything you've invested into the game is gone, and there's absolutely nothing to recoup from it except from just the memories.
Yeah, because there's going to be people that want their game to live at all costs and can't accept the fact that maybe not everybody likes the same game you like. And if it ends up, being end of service time, then, you got to let it go and try and move on. You can't hold on to it and then hate every single game that comes out that's in the same genre. You cannot hate everything just because they're a direct competition to the game you like. That's like saying, hey, I love Call of Duty, but anyone who plays Battlefield is dead to me because you're in competition with my shooter game. That doesn't make any sense. Most people play Battlefield and Call of Duty because it's the same genre of shooters, but it's completely different game styles. Uh, it's not going to make Call of Duty go out of business because you play some Battlefield. No, it's just it is what it is. Granted, it is different because most gacha games are free to play, so they have a little bit more incentive on people continuously playing, spending money on the new characters and everything like that. But when it comes down to it, if people aren't buying the characters, it's kind of the game developer's own fault for not having characters that are good enough for people to buy. Because as long as even if the gameplay isn't that great or isn't that intuitive or anything to that effect, people still pull on characters just for the simple fact that they like the characters. Either they like the hot women, the hot guys, or they like the personality of the character, or anything to that effect, even if it's just how they fit into the story. There's all sorts of reasons that people could pull on characters, or just because they're overpowered, honestly. But if the developers can't produce a character that fits any of those slots, or just fits the least wanted slot, then you can't really say anything besides it's the developer's own fault for not producing a character people like.
There's no getting back the money or time you've sunk into the game, and it's just suddenly gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. To a lot of people, this is a constant worry and fear. Content creators, and even myself, are generally to blame for the situation as well. It's an unfortunate reality, but drama and vitriol gets clicks and views. For the vast majority of content creators out there, this is their main income. It's a no-brainer to discuss and cover drama when it's the fastest way to gain relevance and keep food on the table for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. It's free clicks.
This is incredibly obvious in the Genshin community, where Tectone has become such a boogeyman that they even go as far as censoring his name. They put themselves on a pedestal constantly, having a holier-than-thou attitude, and acting like they are above the drama or ever dipping their toes into it. Take this clip of Zyx, for example, who got one guide in his Twitch stream.
Not one guy.
You know he's gonna farm this clip even if you don't mention him? I'm genuinely talking about the random one guys on Twitter though. I'm not talking about the fucking P. Diddy of gacha games, okay? If I was talking about him, I'd fucking tell you I'm talking about him. Although it applies a bit too, but that's not what I'm talking about.
What kind of comment is that?
Actually...
The P. Diddy of gacha games? That doesn't even make sense. Like, yeah, Tectone's an ass to everybody, but he's just a goofy guy. Like, if you're taking him seriously, that's on you, not on him. Like, he's not spooky. He's not scary. He's not the boogeyman.
Oh, he's not, bro. He's not. He just means well. He's not farming anything. Bro, he means well. No, man.
Man, this guy...
These are the same creators that will constantly cry about others farming drama or profiting off of it.
That's crazy.
Yet when opportunity arises, they can't but help themselves to insert themselves into it. If they dislike drama so much, why are they constantly getting baited into it? Everyone and their mother knows at this point that Tectone is the king of rage baiting in the gacha space. If they truly dislike drama as much as they tout, they would just ignore him.
And that's a surefire way. Just ignore him, act like he's nothing, and he has no power over you. That's all it is.
Just accuse someone of sexual crime? I guess because it's better than insult someone. Bro, don't insult someone and then accuse someone of rape without evidence. First of all, I just said the P. Diddy of God.
These creators are just as bad as the people that they constantly virtue signal about. How someone can insinuate someone is guilty of SA on a baseless accusation?
Like, he says he didn't accuse anybody of anything, but in what context would that mean anything else? Saying someone's the P. Diddy of gacha, what else would that possibly mean? Like, that is such a stupid response to that. He's just trying to backpedal and freaking out because he said something stupid and he doesn't want to back down.
And then turn around and act like they're the golden boy is completely beyond me.
Time.
Hey, chat. You know, people cause drama with me. It's not because I'm an asshole. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's not because I actively lie to my audience. It's not because I try to manipulate people. It's not because I use manipulation tactics. It's not because I deceive my viewers. It's just because they're out of content. It's just because they're out of content, chat. Even I remember Fob, who didn't want to side, just got called a fence sitter and a coward. I mean, it's different with Fob. Like Fob isn't refraining from engaging because he doesn't want the drama.
Just for a record, if anybody wants to talk shit, at least stick with it. Don't backpedal, because it just makes you look like more of a bitch than you already are. If you're gonna say something, stick with it. That's all I gotta say about it.
Fob is actively engaging with the drama while refusing to choose a side, when there's clearly a side that's in the wrong. I think it's completely fair to call Fob a fence sitter and a coward.
I mean, if people want to fence it, they can fence it. It's up to them.
Like, I'm not on bad terms with Fob, but like, I don't think we could be friends. Like, the way he acts and reacts in those kinds of situations, it makes me see, like, yeah, no, he doesn't give a shit if something bad happens to someone, as long as that someone isn't him.
I mean, to be fair, that's most people. Like,
here's another harsh reality many people fail to understand. Your favorite content creators generally do not care about the game nearly as much as you think they do. Unhinged gamers will generally devote their life to these games.
Yo, off topic, that, like, squirrel furnace thing is straight up could be in a horror movie and it would not seem out of place. That thing is terrifying. Like, that'll just eat that kid. off topic, but that thing is terrifying. Out of everything in the trailers for the 2.0, that thing is just horrific to me. I don't know if it is for anyone else, but that thing is crazy.
And it becomes their entire being and personality. Meanwhile, the average content creator is the exact opposite. Getting into these games for money and then continuing to play them just to stay relevant.
I should be the only getting praise in the Genshin community because I don't spend money on Genshin Impact.
You're the only motherfucker
This is
getting
one
praised
major
in this
trap that
community.
content creators continue to fall into. They associate their entire brand and personality with one game. It's obviously fine to start with when building a brand, but if you continue to become complacent with your reach, not only are you damaging your long-term success, you're giving the green flag to those that have an unhealthy relationship with the game that it's okay to be married to a game and anything else is just blasphemy.
And keep your options
Unfortunately, it's a
open. You don't wanna
perpetuating
dedicate
cycle.
yourself to only one
The content
game.
creator continues to get views for covering a game they may not necessarily like, and the mentally ill continue to get validation by watching their streamer play the same game every time they stream, over and over and over. It's completely obvious the amount of astroturfing the Hoyoverse community has done specifically to the Wuthering Waves community. In the most recent weeks, the Gacha Gaming subreddit removed the Wuthering Waves 2.0 broadcast post shortly after it was posted.
What?
Meanwhile,
Why?
other Gacha Games live stream announcements were left untouched. Alongside
That is crazy on its own. The fucking Hoyo shills are just trying so hard in a general gacha space to shut out games that they just don't like. That is crazy on its own.
this issue, the official Wuthering Waves 2.0 broadcast chat was spammed for days with varying copy-pasted messages absolutely shitting on the game. It's pretty obvious that the vast majority of these were bots, and they weren't actually real humans.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
So on the flip side, the Wuthering Waves community isn't innocent of shitty behavior as well. The most recent controversy comes from the Game Awards, where Balatro won Mobile Game of the Year over wuwa. The official Wuthering Waves community on Discord was filled with hate messages towards Balatro and its developer, and it got so bad that the moderation team had to lock the channel. The discourse was exactly the same over on Twitter. Passion, investment, and mental illness simply drive the community to constantly be at odds with each other. And the content creators simply continue to perpetuate the narrative. At the end of the day, nothing will change. Coke and Pepsi, Pokemon and Digimon, Android and iPhone. Rivalries will continue to exist just due to human nature.
And it's extremely
But,
healthy for
come on,
games.
let's
Just
be
throwing
real.
it out there.
At the end of the day, all these
Can't have
gacha
a
games are just
monopoly
dog
of
shit
things.
slop. Did you know I'm live right now on twitch.tv/LOL Shinya? Feel free to drop by
Make sure
and
to
say
go
hi.
check them out.
If you've
I don't
made
know
it this
if he's
far in
live
the
right
video,
now, but go
I
check
sincerely
him out.
appreciate you. To those that have been waiting for me to return, 2025, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. Feel free to join my Discord at discord.gg/LOL Shinya to continue to get updates on what I'm doing. Alright, see ya.
What an amazing by the one, the only Shinya. Honestly, fantastic. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna post this video down in the comment section below, or not in the description below, I should say. Check him out, subscribe, and subscribe for this video too. It really helps. Truly appreciate it. And have a good one. Peace.